उदिता भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथिता पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवती अष्टादशाध्यायिनीं अम्ब त्वामनुसन्ततानि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी.
So we are in paragraph Srishti Prakriya, analysis of creation, Chandogya Upanishad.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to just clarify that Panchakosha Prakriya, you were clear when I explained. Are you? Hello?
Yeah. Yes. Which one?
You were clear, no? That when I explained whatever I explained.
Yes, yes.
Panchakosha Prakriya. Basically, even though it starts with Tasmad Etasmad Atmanaha Akasha Sambhudaha, I started with that. But finally what it is Annamaya Kosha, that is Annat Purushaha, you are made of Annam. Generally we consider ourselves as body. Okay. Body is our, we say, who are you? We consider our body as our reality. Okay, that is how it starts. Annamaya Kosha. Kosha means a cover, a sheath. Sheath meaning covering the reality. So, Annamaya Kosha. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. So, Annamaya Kosha meaning a cover as if we are food body. We are only Annam is our reality. It is not so. Then we scrutinize, then we come to know Annamaya Kosha becomes Pranamaya Kosha. No, the vital air. Prana is very important, otherwise we will not be alive. So prana is the reality. Then we further inquire, no, without manas, how are we going to? We are living in the mind only. Body is just an instrument. So manomaya kosha. We think that we are manomaya kosha. We are only mind. And then, no, it is not mind. We all make decisions in life. Only buddhi. Vijnanamaya kosha. Then we say, no, we are really intelligent being mean Vijnanamaya kosha. Only the discretionary people, like decision making people. Then, further, even though we do action, we make decision and all, finally we enjoy life. So, Anandamaya kosha. The Upanishad, which gives about the 5 sheets and the kosha prakriya, a model of explaining to us the whole creation, goes to these 5 levels and finally says we are basically bhuktas, we are basically enjoyers of life. Everything else, our decision making, our buddhi, our manas, our prana, our body, everything is meant to enjoy. So we are basically enjoying people, bhuktas. And then further inquiry, the Upanishad says, no, even though you are Anantam, Anandamaya, but it's only a Maya meaning Mayat Prachurye. In Sanskrit, what they say is Vikaram. Vikaram meaning even though you are enjoying, but this keeps changing. Okay? Even though you are enjoying and sometimes dukkam, sometimes sukham and all that, even though you are an enjoyer, but it keeps changing in life. But Kutastam, that is, you are like, in spite of all these things, whether it's body, mind, or sleep, or waking, enjoying, or dukkam, whatever it is, that you are there. That has to be scrutinized. So the student, with the help of the teacher, in the Upanishad, scrutinizes and finally find out Anandam. The Anandam, the being, the Atma, is the real being. It is there, which is common in all these 5 sheets. And it subsists. So what is changeless is you. Because you are there. When you are talking, when you are discussing also, since you are the changeless person, you are able to appreciate the body, the mind, the sleep, dream, everything. Because you are able to be, the changeless person is available. That is why you say, I had a good dream, I had a good sleep, I am waking, I am happy, I am not happy and all that. The changeless person is the reality. That is nothing but Atma. That is how it is arrived at. Anandam Brahmano Vidva na Vibeti Kutascha Neti. That is how the Upanishad finally says Anandam is nothing but Atma, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, the Mahavakya, Tattvamasi, all those things it explains. So the Prakriya which is being used in Taittiriya Upanishad is called Panchakosha Prakriya because of this, all these things, whatever I explained. Okay, that is, I thought I felt I'm not explained it properly. That's why I thought I will tell you. Okay. Now let us.
Swamiji, the Ananda Koya, Swamiji, sorry.
Anandamaya meaning
Anandamaya
Mokta.
Kosha is different from Ananda.
Yes,
Ananda.
exactly. Ananda Atma. Atma is changeless. It doesn't go through, even though we say Ananda Maya, the Maya itself means what? Maya means saturation. Generally Anandam, but Dukkha Lesa. Everyone, however enjoying one's, perhaps somebody's life is very good, so good that he never had any problem. But even he will be afraid. How can I be so happy all the time? Everyone is having some dukkam are there. That means my dukkam also is around the corner. He will also feel, he will always have that fear. No, something must be happening. I may get any time dukkam. So he will always be looking over the shoulder. So that is called dukkha lesa. Dukkha lesa means even the most happy person will have a stinge of dukkha in his life. So, even though Anandamaya you say, but that is only saturated Anandam, but essentially you are always afraid, you are having that dukkam. Because you are not in tune with the reality. Reality is the changeless Atma, which cannot, being what you call Desakala Vastu Aparichinnam Atma, which is sustained, subsists all the states of life and all that. That is the real Atma. That is how finally the Upanishad arrives at. So the difference between Anandamaya and Anandam is, it has no reason to be unhappy or happy. It is always pure and because of its reality, not because it is becoming Ananda and becoming Dukkha. It is the reality of Atma. That is how finally you have to understand your reality. And that is being explained through this Panchakosha Prakriya, like in the Avastatri Prakriya, etc., etc. The model or the methodology through which the Atma is arrived at by various Upanishads. That is how it is.
You also said about Kutastham or something like that. What is that?
Kutastham meaning the anvil which doesn't undergo any change is called, in the lathe, the lathe, in the iron lathe, the blacksmith lathe, the lathe will be the stone on which the metal will be bent, some metal will be bent, some metal will be beaten, and all that beaten into different shapes. The metal pieces will undergo different shapes, but the Kutastham, the anvil will remain unchangeless. So it is an analogy by which Atma is explained. Kutastham meaning anvil, like anvil in a blacksmithy. That is how it is. Yeah.
Yeah, Srishti Prakriya, analysis of creation in Chandogya Upanishad. In the 6th chapter of the Chandogya Upanishad, sage Uddalaka tells his son Swetaketu that before the creation of this world, there is only one thing. It was Sat, existence, Advitiya, non-dual, and there was nothing except that. Advitiya because there was no other Sat Vastu like itself, nor was there any Vastu unlike itself, and in itself there were no parts. It was one non-dual. Since there was no difference between itself, nor was there any differentiating factor, it's a partless whole. Mentioning this Satvastu in his opening statement, Uddalaka talks about the creation of the elemental world from this Satvastu. He mentions only 3 elements. The elements that have form, Murta Bhutas, they are Agni, fire, Apaha, water, and Prithvi, earth. The 2 elements without a form, Akasha and Vayu, are not mentioned. The purpose was only to show that having come from Satvastu, they do not have a being of their own apart from the Satvastu. In fact, the creation is non-separate from its cause, like the pot is non-separate from the clay. Finally, he says, O Swetaketu, that Satvastu is Atma. Everything else is created. The body is created, the mind is created, senses are created. But what is not created is Atma. And that is Satvastu, which was existent even before creation. Even now, it is Satvastu, uncreated Atma. And therefore, Tattvam Asi, you are that. From 9 standpoints, he points out that the Vastu is always the same. Before and after the creation, it is the same. That Atma Vastu did not undergo any change. Now, even though it is Upadana Karana, Upadana Karana, material cause, it is Upadana Karana in terms of Maya. Without undergoing any change itself, the Sattvastu manifests in the form of this world with the Shakti of Maya. And the creation being purely Namarupa is Mithya. The truth of the creation, that Sattvastu is you, Atma. So to create this vision that you are the Sattvastu and the world is non-separate from the Sattvastu, we have Srishti Prakriya.
See, Upadana means itself, actually, Upadana itself as the word Upadi, which I had explained. Upadi means which has, there is no, you don't have that, it is aruchi, in the sense you don't like that. No, Upadi means what? Upadai in Tamil. So, it is only as though Upadana Karanam, meaning material cause for this creation, is only an as though. Iva, Maya is nothing but another word for Maya, beautiful word is Iva. Iva in Sanskrit is as though, English. As though meaning, because Sattvastu, that is what the whole Tatparya is, Sattvastu, Sattva alone is there, which is the Nimitta Karana, meaning the efficient cause, which all of us agree. Like, Ishvara is the all intelligent, because of that only the niyati, all force, all energy, everything that is available for our transaction, we find that there is a niyati connecting one with the other. Anything, even a flower, if you small take, how it has been intelligently put together, flower is like this. Even with all your science and technology, you cannot create a flower. You can explain why how it got pollinated, how the stamen grew, etc., etc. But you can conduct research and give research papers about a flower, but you cannot put together a flower. So that means that much of intelligence, everyone is agreeing, anyone can understand that. But how, if that intelligence alone is the reality, then where is the material? If the material lies outside the intelligent reality, Ishvara or Bhagavan or Brahman, whatever you call it, who created that material? Before it was created, who was there? So it will go to redux, what they call infinite regression. In the sense, it will keep going. Like if there is a material other than Bhagavan, then who created that material? Then who created that material? He becomes the Bhagavan greater than this Bhagavan, who has intelligently put together. So like that it will go on. So it is not possible. So Abhinna Nimitta Upadana Karanam is the Sattvastu. That means there is no material, there is only intelligence. When there is no material, it appears as material, flower, fruit, etc. That appearance is called Maya. Yama, Sama. There is no real material, but it appearance. So that is called, that is a defective. In the sense, we are not comfortable with that idea. But that is the reality. So, okay, take it at its face value, just transact the whole world. Don't like it is some, that is why the dream analogy is brought in. Like even in dream, you look at the whole creation as like a dream, like and transact. There is a reality in the sense, in terms of transaction, it is available for transaction. It is available. It is subject to modification. You and I are able to talk yesterday, talk today, talk tomorrow. That means there is a Swakale Satyavad Bhati. In the sense, in the time of transaction, there is a reality for you to transact. That is why we are able to communicate. That is why we are able to live in the, we can transact objects, we eat food, we drink water, it gets digested. Again, tomorrow I get hungry, I eat food, I drink water. All those things are happening. That means there is a niyati, even though it is Maya, it is what you call, there is no real material out there, but still it gives an appearance of a material, like even in a dream. So your waking life also is nothing like something similar to a dream. So the dream example is not a example drawn for just showing you this thing. It is a everyday reality. Every one of us goes through dream. Whether it is rich or poor, intelligent or unintelligent, or educated or uneducated. So the dream is a reality. How much you are able to accept the dream as a reality. In the same way, waking also is the reality like that only. You have to accept that. That is why that Maya is brought in. That is where the whole, all other darshanas, what they call all the theology and even philosophy, This is one thing they are not able to accept. That Satyam and Nitya. That there is only Satvastu. The whole transacted world is Mithya. That no science agrees. How can it be? We are able to conduct experiments and we are able to prove galaxies. I am able to see through the telescope. I am able to see through the microscope through a microscope. Everything is happening. I am able to explain. I am able to conduct research and all that. So the empiricality, that just because empirically things are available, we don't accept that cannot be Maya or Nitya. So that is where, but if you really, once you understand, this is the Pramanam, Shabda Pramanam given by the Upanishad and the Shastra, once you accept it and then scrutinize, you find it's all very logical. This is how it should be. That is why it is endless, limitless, continuously keeps on changing. You are able to continuously conduct research, continuously give PhDs on for one cell. What is told yesterday is proved wrong today, and somebody else comes with some other postulate, submit a paper and gets a PhD. Because there is no end to all this thing, continuously changing. That is why what we call Mithya. We don't say it is not there. What is continuously changing is called Mithya. It is a ontological term, a term of reality, which I have always been telling you. What is ever silver can never be silver. That is the reality. Reality is changing. Changing is called Mithya. What is not there yesterday, what will not be there tomorrow, but appears to exist now is called Mithya. What is intelligently put together without any real material is Mithya. So all these things are proved. Then by logic, once you accept the postulate of the Shastra that there is Mithya, there is Satyam. Mithya does not exist without Satyam. Satyam is independent. And Satyam is you, Satyam is the reality of Ishvara. This is the crux of the teaching. And once you understand that Pramanam, once you accept, and then you scrutinize from this, you are able to give all logical conclusions which are very much in tune with this reality. Whereas in every other postulation, every other philosophy, somewhere along they will fail. They will not be able to explain one more question. So that is why this is a full Vedanta. Advaita is not a philosophy, it is reality understanding. Whereas everything else is a philosophy. A philosophy can be countered by another philosophy and proved wrong. So, whereas this is not a philosophy, we don't say it is a philosophy. We agree, everything, Dvaita, Vasishtha, Dvaita, with reference to some aspect of life, they are all okay. And we include them. But ultimate reality, this is the reality. You are Atma, you are Brahman. This is the only reality that will hold water. Because that is the only thing you are not satisfied. In your own life, you don't accept Advitiyam, which I explained to you. Rasagulla is outside, you don't like it, you want it inside. That means you want oneness. Oneness is your natural intent in life. Then why are you denying yourself? You want to oneness, but you are arguing against it. What for? Vedanta says you are oneness. You are love personified. You are Purnam. And you listen to that Purnamadaha, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnamudachyate, Purnasya, Purnamadaya, Purnameva, Avasishyate. And finally says, no, I am different. Here it says everything is Purnam only. And you refuse and deny, and then you keep on looking for solutions. So that is where that is how strongly the fallacies are discounted by the Purvapaksha Siddhanta, Shankara, and all his arguments throughout the Shastra. That is what Sat Vastu, that is what Chandogya Upanishad also says. There is only one Sat. Like even in the entire pot world, which it starts like this. Mrittika eva Satyam. Mrittika eva Satyam meaning for the entire pottery world, there is only one clay. Clay Advitiyam. Ekena Mritprindena Sarvam Mridmayam. Mrittika iti eva Satyam. Like even Mrittika, iti as, like even that, in reality of your life also is only Satyam. Sadeva Satyam idam agre asid. Tat Satyam sa atma tattvamasi Shvetaketo. That is how he explains to his son. Tat Satyam sa atma, that is nothing but you. Tat Satyam sa atma tattvamasi Shvetaketo. Once you understand this, everything else is as well understood. Life is as well understood. So, by knowing this, everything else is as well known. That is how he starts the premise. He asks, Dalaka asked Shvetaketu, did you ask your teacher for this knowledge? He said such a knowledge never existed. If it has existed, he would have taught me. Then I would have known. Then he starts and explaining to him, this is how you have to understand. So that is how it is. That is the Sattva Suvya. And the Chandogya says, and also Brahma Sutram itself says, Tad Ananyatvam Arambana Sabdadibhyaha. Meaning what it says is, there is nothing else other than Sat. Everything else is Nama Rupa. Vacharambanam Vikaro Namadeyam. Just name and form. Word and meaning. Everything. The whole transactable word is nothing but word and meaning. You call it a flower. No, Bhagavan never called it a flower, and neither the flower called itself flower. You call it a flower, then you pick it and put it in your head or put it on the table, and you do whatever you want to do with it. But flower is a flower. Only flower knows itself thoroughly 100%. You cannot know it, however much you can do research. Because flower is, the reality of flower is Sadeva, Satyam. Like even the reality of pot is clay. The reality of clay is silica, the reality of silica is carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, the reality of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen put together is only a concept. The concept's reality is conscious being. So, finally everything leads to conscious being. Sadeva Savya, Idamagriya says. That is how the whole prakriya, any prakriya you use, whether you use the avastatara prakriya of dream, or the pot clay prakriya of Chandogya, or the what do you call, 5 elements prakriya, or the Panchakosha prakriya, everywhere finally it comes down to Atma. That is the only reality. Everything else only is available for transaction. It appears as though there is a reality because it is transactable. Because you see on your Pancha Pramanas, eyes, ears and all, can see only that transactable world only. They cannot tell you about the untransactable Desha Kala Vastu Aparichinna Atma. That only Veda can tell you, Vedanta can tell you, and once you understand that, once you take it from your teacher and as a Pramanam from the Veda, from the Shastra, Acharya, Upadesana, once you get it, thereafter, from that you look at the whole thing, everything falls into place. That is how the whole Shastra is going about. Yeah.
Swamiji, this Upadana Karana, what is Nimitta Karana?
Nimitta Karana is intelligent cause. Nimitta means what? Intelligence. Intelligence cause is the Niyanta, Niyati, that what it connects everything between the flower, in the flower, how the petals are connected to stamen, connected to fragrance, the shape, everything. If you scrutinize, it will be one flower. If you scrutinize, it will be available for 100 PhDs. So much of intelligence has gone into the whole thing. And it is continuously changing. And that is why we say so many stars and galaxies were there, Hubble telescope, so many stars and galaxies. At the time that light reached us, after 450 billion years, so many stars and galaxies have vanished also. They are not there. We see from the telescope, 450 billion years away, what stars and galaxies were there. But the fact is, today they are all not there. Everything has changed. But you say that, no, I am able to see. It means what? You are, because that is your inability, cannot, the light has taken 450 billion years to reach here. By the time you see, the creation has changed. You can only academically say, I am able to see. But what difference? But the reality which we are talking about, 450 billion years away also, Atma was the same. Today also it is same. So this understanding is more important than looking at the telescope and say 450 billion years away, so many stars were there, so many galaxies were there and all. Okay, it's fine academically, but people who are interested in Satyam and Atma, they are not interested in that. That is the difference between Paravidya and Aparavidya.
No,
They are interested in Paravidya, knowing which everything else is as well known. What is the big deal in knowing the galaxies which are not there today? That is the difference between Paravidya and Aparavidya. That is why we are. Yeah. See, that is why we have that understanding that our culture, our Vedas, our Vedanta has it. And that is what anyway eventually we want. Every one of us want to be happy here and now. Unchanging. All the time. Purnam. I should not be bothered but what is happening around. So when that is the reality, why are you disowning it and looking for it elsewhere? You are not going to get it anyway. So that is how it is.
Swamiji, my question is, any creation, suppose you take it to be a pot, you have, they say material cause is the clay. Yeah? Then what is other what is Nimitta Karana?
Nimitta Karana is intelligent cause. The intelligent cause for the clay is what? The pot maker, the kulala.
Okay.
And he has got the technology inside. So even though the wheel may be there, the mud may be there, all the instruments will all be there, but if you put your hand, you won't get a part, you will get something else. Whereas he will get a part because he has got the technology inside.
Yes, I understand.
That is called intelligence.
And the instrumental cause is also there.
Yeah, the intelligent cause for the whole creation. Okay. It's called Chit, Sat Chit Ananda we say, no? The Chit, Chaitanyam, consciousness, the intelligent cause. Sadeva Chit. There is no Chit other than Sat. Whereas in reference to a pot, the pot maker is different from the clay. Whereas with reference to creation, the intelligent cause is nothing but because it cannot be. Because when we say omniscient, all powerful, all present, so the intelligent cause cannot be away from the material cause, the material cause cannot be away from the intelligent cause. That is why it's called Vivarta Upadana Karanam, Abhinna Nimitta Upadana Karanam, meaning the material and the intelligence as far as the wholesome creation is concerned is one and the same. When you say one and the same, if intelligence is material, that means really speaking what there is no material. If intelligence is also the material cause, that means there is no material. But I see, that is called Maya. Yama Samaya. And that is why we call it reality. The ontological reality for the word Maya is Mithya. What doesn't exist independently, it exists depending on Sat, the Atma. So we don't say it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist independently. That is called Maya, that is called Eva, as though Satyavad Bhati. Not Satyam Bhati, Satyavad Bhati, meaning as though. If you take Satyam, then you will indulge in Vyavahara and you will go up and down. Plus minus to hote rahega. Because it is changeless. It is changing all the time. Transitory reality. Vyavaharika reality, the another word is transitory reality. A transitory reality, you cannot say, I don't want it to transit. It is illogical. So all these things are so very clear. Now, once you understand the Pramanam, as is told by the Vedanta and the teacher, from that, if you look at logically, the whole thing falls in place. That is why it is called Shruti Anukula logical thinking. You should not, because this is the Pramanam. Like as I said, whatever eyes see, form and color cannot be validated by ears or cannot be validated by smell. So Pramanam, there should be a Shraddha. What eyes see, only eyes can see. What Veda and Vedanta can see, only Veda and Vedanta can see. That much of Shraddha you must have in the Pramanam. Shastra. Once you have that Shraddha, you made it. 50% of the is done. And thereafter you have to just, how can it be? How can I be the awareness being? How can I be Sat? Then you inquire with all this Gita, Upanishads and all that, then you will get it. But you cannot say, I am not that. If you deny that, you are denying yourself. Because you know very well, even though in sleep nothing was there, your mind, intellect, nothing was, the body also was, you say, I slept like a log of wood. That means you are not there. But still next day morning you are saying, I am there, I was there. I slept very well. That means very well, what was that you? That you is Atma. Atma alone is there. That we should be able to see the reality of it. All this, that the Pramanam, Sabda Pramanam is the most important part of it. Once you understand, Vicharam will help you to how you, the Atma, is the Jagat Karanam Brahma. And then you say, oh, Jagat Karanam means what, the world? And And we know the world is transitory all the time, moving, continuously changing. It is only the intelligence of Atma, the Sat Vastu, is what is making it appear as if there is a world. And for that there is a prakriya. Different prakriyas are told, how to make you understand that. Once you understand that understanding is clear, you ask all the questions and get it clear, then you know, yeah, Atma eva Brahman. All the Mahavakyas will become meaningful to you. Tat Tvam Asi. I am Atma, Brahma. Your Sandhyavandanam will become meaningful. Asaditya Brahma, Brahmevaham Atmi, Brahmeva Satyam. When you say that, you can convincingly say it. You are not just Upachara Vakyam Indadala. So, beautiful. Life becomes beautiful. Because every day when you say 3 times Sandhyavandanam, you know, I am the Satya Atma. Yeah.
Vastatraya.
Vastatraya Prakriya. Analysis of the 3 states of experience in the Mandukya Upanishad. Yeah.
Avastatraya Prakriya. Analysis of the 3 states of experience in the Mandukya Upanishad. Similarly, we find the Avastatraya Prakriya in the Mandukya Upanishad. The first verse says, all that is, all that was, and all that will be is but Omkara. Each individual letter of Om was made to stand for something. Kara represents Akara. Akara represents walking.
Waking. Waking state. Yeah.
The waker and the waking world. Ukara, the dreamer and the dream world. Makara, the sleeper and the sleep experience. All 3 of them are shown to be non-separate from the same Atma, which itself is neither the waker consciousness, nor dreamer consciousness, nor sleeper consciousness. And it is not the consciousness in between waking and dream consciousness, nor is it all consciousness or unconsciousness. Naturally, what remains after negating all, this is consciousness as such.
All this. What
remains after negating all this is consciousness as such.
Consciousness as such.
As such. All other things qualify that consciousness. And this is the nature of yourself that is called Chaturta. It is neither waker, dreamer, nor sleeper. Therefore, Chaturtam Manyante Sa Atma Sa Vijneyaha.
Chaturtam Manyante Sa Atma Sa Vijneyaha. That is reference is given as Mandukya Upanishad. That comes in the what Manyante. What he says is Chaturtam Manyante Sa Atma Sa Vijneyaha. Manyante means Apudina Cholra. See, what Upanishad doesn't agree that there is one Chaturtam. There is only one which is subsisting all the 3 states. There is no 4th state and all that. But in generally, to differentiate between the 3 states, it is told as Chaturtam. Chaturtam nu Cholra. That is called Manyante means Cholluva. Cholluva na anartham. I am not telling. Generally, people tell Chaturtam Manyante. That's what he says. Yeah.
What is looked upon as Chaturta, the 4th, that is the real Atma. It is all 3 and itself independent of all 3. It does not undergo any change and it is the Atma in all 3 states. It has got to be known. This is the Avastatraya Prakriya discussed in the Mandukya Upanishad, which is discussed in other Upanishads as well. Swamiji, in this we talked about we have different people in our the environment that we live. Some people will not read anything but hear a lot and gain knowledge. Some people will read something, only themselves they have to read and they will gain knowledge. Some people will read, but they have to read it in a group in order to gain knowledge. There are various people like this, like different categories of people. So can we say that this type of consciousness that is mentioned here, I know it is in Vedanta perspective that the consciousness is shown here, but what I'm asking is consciousness from the living perspective. Can we say they are categorized that way, even on the living front, like differently? Which is why...
in the Shastra itself it talks about, like in sense, it says, there is one shloka, it says, 1/4 you understand by listening. 1/4 you understand by your own self-thinking or reading and all. 1/4 by discussing with your mates. And 1/4 you get to know in time. It takes time. It sits in your mind and it grows on you. So all the four are required for you to have a complete understanding. So as you say, people have to read, people have to listen, people have to think logically, ask questions and answer, and do Nidhi just have time, give it time. Like even Shastra itself gives an explanation. Something like vulva, like how a child is born in a garbha. It takes some 9 months. However intelligent you may be, it takes 9 months to give a child. So you have to give that time. You can't say I want it tomorrow. It does take time. So all the four are possible. Like as you say, reading, contemplating, and discussing, and again Shravanam with the teacher. All these are upayas. It's all required. Everything is an upaya. Finally, your understanding is the most important thing. So it's all there. It's all there in the like any learning experience. All these things are there. Some people get to know. It takes time for them. Sometimes they want to discuss. Sometimes they want to read different materials. And definitely, it has to start with the listening, because here the pramana is coming from outside. It is not your pancha pramana. It is not your eyes, ears, mind, and all that. They all have tried all its best throughout generations, throughout their janmas. They have not got it. Now there is an external pramana by way of teacher and teaching that comes and tells you are Purnam. Keep all this aside. Whatever you have transacted with your Purnam, all these 5 Pacha Pramana, whatever you have done, they only messed up things. Just keep it aside and listen to me. The teacher comes and tells you you are that, you are Purnam Brahma. Now you read and anyway, those things are required for your Vyavahara. That you keep doing, but don't allow it to interfere with this understanding. That is why it's called sixth sense, sixth pramana. So that is how it is. That is how the whole explanation is all about. Yeah.
Panchakosha Prakriya, analysis of the 5 levels of experience of oneself in the Taittiriya Upanishad. In the Taittiriya Upanishad, there is a Panchakosha Prakriya. It begins with the physical body, Anna Rasamaya.
Rasamaya. Maya means, as I said, Maya means saturated. We actually use it. Colloquially also we use this word. Maya. Whatever we use that same thing. Bhagavan is talking about. Anna Rasamaya means saturated with Annam. You think that you are only made of food. So we are, instead of living to eat, you eat to live. So that is the difference. No? Some people live only for eating. Because he thinks Anna is the most important thing in life. That is how we start our life. Yeah.
Annarasamaya, which is like a cover kosha, because everyone mistakes it for Atma. It is born out of the essence of the food that is eaten, Annarasa. This assimilated form of food is Annarasamaya. This suffix mayat means modification, vikara. So, Annarasamaya is a modification of the essence of food. We generally conclude that the body is Atma. Therefore, Shruti points out that there is another Atma which is more interior, subtler. This is prana. Shruti then describes the psychological function.
Physiological function.
Shruti then describes the physiological function, pranamaya. If you think this is Atma, Shruti leads you further to another Atma, Manomaya, and from Manomaya to Vijnanamaya, the doer, then from Vijnanamaya to Anandamaya. Sukha, happiness, is also experienced in different degrees because of shades of difference in vrittis. So within that Anandamaya, Priya is the first stage of happiness. Something that is pleasing or desirable to you is cited, that is Priya. Then what is desired is possessed by you, this is Moda. Moda. The third stage in which it is experienced by you is Pramoda. These are degrees of Ananda, all of which are particular modes of thought, Vritti Viseshas. But in all the three, Priya, Moda and Pramoda, what is present is Ananda. That Ananda is myself and that is Brahman.
Tanmatra Prakriya, a type of Srishti Prakriya. Here Krishna uses the Tanmatra Prakriya. Tanmatra, as we have seen, means the 5 subtle elements. These 5 subtle elements undergo a process of grossification whereby each element shares half of itself with the other 4. Therefore, each gross element is 5-fold and has 1/8 of each of the other elements. For example, Sthula Akasha is 1/2 Sukshma Akasha, 1/8 Sukshma Vayu, 1/8 Sukshma Agni, 1/8 Sukshma Apaha, and 1/8 Sukshma Prithvi. Thus, every gross element is 5-fold, and because it is formed of these 5-fold elements, the world itself is called Prapancha, 5-fold in Sanskrit. This Prapancha was originally Tanmatra. Only that alone, Tat Matra, was there. In other words, in Akasha, Akasha alone was there. In Vayu, Vayu alone. In Agni, Agni alone. In Apaha, Apaha alone. In Prithvi, Prithvi alone. In the Sukshma form, they do not have these 5-fold combinations. Therefore, they are called Tanmatras.
It is something similar to, if you want to understand it, anyway, Tattva Bodha explains it thoroughly. Okay, the whole, this Srishti Prakriya through the 5 elements is explained thoroughly in Tattva Bodha, the book, if you want. But one thing you can remember, see, like in a pot, if you keep a lamp, there are 5 holes. Through 5 holes, 5 rays of light will come. So when you look from outside, it will look like 5 rays are coming. Actually, there is only one lamp. So there is only one conscious being which is appearing as eyes, ears, nose, sense of taste, sense of smell, and all that. That is how the Srishti is visualized. Basically, there is only one conscious being. But for the purpose of transaction, these 5 different elements, pancha, like 5, the 5, what you call, 5 pancha pramanas are there, eyes, ears, and all. Correspondingly, eyes can see form, then ears can listen to space, and gandha, prithvi, can be smelled by the nose, like that, and water can be tasted by the taste, sense of taste, and sense of touch is all over, like that. So whole thing, every pancha pramana is connected to 5 elements, and 5 elements to further 5. Pancha, then becomes a creation. That is how the whole creation is visualized. It's a model, again it's a model. How exactly happens, we don't know really, it may be much more complicated. But just for our own understanding, they are using this Pancha Kosha model. Here the Pancha elemental model, which Gita uses, Bhagavan uses. That's why he says Bhagavan uses. Yeah.
Prashant. Yeah. The Tanmatras, Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apaha, Prithvi, have been listed in the reverse order in this verse. If they are listed as space, air, fire, water, earth, it is in the order in which they were created, Srishti Krama. But because Arjuna is now looking at the already created, the Srishti that is there, the elements are listed beginning with Bhumi. These 5 elements have many synonyms. Here, Prithvi, the earth, is called Bhumi. Agni, the fire, is called Anala. Alam na vidyate yasya, the one who never says enough in terms of fuel.
Beautiful, yeah.
Akasha is called Kam. All the 5 of these elements are to be understood here as subtle, Sukshma, because they are mentioned as the cause here. Then Manas, Buddhi, Ahankara are also added to these elements. Since they are all products, they have to be looked at from the causal level. The 5 subtle elements with these 3 are the 8-fold cause for this entire Jagat. The cause of the mind is Ahankara. So, in this verse, the word Manas stands for Ahankara. The word Buddhi stands for Mahat Tattva. The word Ahankara stands for the unmanifest, Avyakta. Krishna wants to point out all the causes and he arranges them in the order that is generally discussed elsewhere. Ahankara is mentioned last because Avyakta, the unmanifest, is the primary cause with reference to the creation. It is Upadana Karana, the material cause for the creation.
Yeah, that is why. See, I was telling you, no, ahankara is the upadana karana means what? It is really not there, but appears to exist. Which is why I always tell it is an uninvited guest in a marriage hall. So that is how we have to remember. It is really not there. It is only maya. It is only avidya. That is why it is upadana karana. That is why upadi. It is a defect, but appearing as satyam and for your transaction. Yeah.
While
I
Brahman
will
doesn't
read.
undergo any change, the Upadana Karana undergoes all the change and is therefore looked at as Parinami, that which undergoes modification. Then there is a new problem. If you say Brahman is the cause, then Brahman must undergo some change in order to become the creation. Yes, as Parinami Karana, it does, and that change takes place only in the Maya Upadhi. Only from the standpoint of Maya, it is Parinami Karana. From the standpoint of itself, it is Vivarta Upadana Karana. It does not undergo any change. The material cause itself is analyzed as a cause that undergoes change and as that which does not undergo any change. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma cannot undergo change. The Avyakta, the Maya, alone undergoes changes. Lord Krishna says that Maya Shakti itself has become this eightfold cause for the entire creation. So, in an eightfold way, this Maya Shakti, which is not separate from me, is the cause for everything. Maya is not a parallel reality. It is the Lord's own Shakti. And in an eightfold way, it becomes the Prakriti for the creation. This is called Apara Prakriti. The other Prakriti, Para Prakriti, is the Swarupa of Atma.
I think we have sufficiently discussed. You must be very clear. Why I want is that you must be very thorough as we go along. No? When we go back and we look at it, once we are able to hold on to the reality, understanding, all these things will become very meaningful as we go along. Yeah.
Mr. Kumar, will read.
Verse 5.
I'll read. I will
Yeah.
read. I will read. Verse 5.
Yeah.
Apareyamitastvanyam prakritim vidhi me param.
Me param.
Me
Yeah.
me param.
Yes.
Vidhi me param. Jiva bhuta mahabaho. Yagedam dharyate jagat. Mahabaho. Oh mighty armed Arjuna. Iyam apara. This lower. This is lower too. Whereas itaha anyam, the one that is other than this, me param prakriti, my highest prakriti, that is my sincere, my very nature, jiva bhutam, that which is the essential nature of the individual. Vidhi, please understand. Maya, by which idam jagat, this world, dharyate, is sustained. O mighty armed Arjuna, this is my lover. This is my lower prakriti. This is my prakriti. Whereas, please understand that one other than this, my higher prakriti, my very nature, which is the essential nature of the individual by which this world is sustained. What has been described so far is apara. Apara swabhava, apara or swabhava prakriti. This apara prakriti is prakriti which is the cause for everything created. This should not be taken as myself. It is apara prakriti, a lower prakriti. Therefore, Sankara says it is indeed anartaka
means
anartaka.
Explains. Anyway, he explains that. Yeah, anartaka.
Something that brings about the undesirable. This is the prakriti that creates all the problems. It is the one that causes you dukkha by giving you a jiva, sarira, etc. One of the prakriti, your body, mind, and sense. Out of this prakriti, your body, mind, and senses are produced, and because of this alone, you have all the dukkha associated with them in the form of all their limitations. All these are caused by this apara prakriti. It is it is very form in the bond.
Yeah.
Its very form in the bondage of samsara. For this reason, it is a lower prakriti. My real nature, para prakriti. Then what is the higher prakriti? 2. Whereas ita anyam. Anyam. Ita anyam. Yeah, ita anyam. Other than this, me,
Not me.
param.
Me. In Sanskrit, it is pronounced as me param. Yeah.
Me param.
Me
Me
means I.
param. Me param prakriti vidhi. Please understand my higher prakriti. Other than this, please understand this the swarupa. Understand the swarupa of myself. My very nature is a para prakriti. Para prakriti. This para prakriti, Shankara says, is visuddha, pure, not visuddha, pure, not touched by anything. Para means utkrishta.
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 Most exalted. Yeah.
Utkrishta, the most exalted prakriti. With reference to the other one, it is Utkrishta because if you know this prakriti, you are liberated. The other prakriti will bind you. My real nature is you. Here, Krishna speaking as Ishvara says, please understand my real nature, and that is Jiva Bhuta, in the form of the Jiva, and that is you. In this prakriti, Atma always remains the same. That Atma, Satchit Atma, is the Kshetrajna. Kshetrajna. The one who knows the entire Kshetra.
Kshetra means field. We know, no. Generally, we say, even in our own language, we say, no. Kshetram means Adam, place, a field of activity. It is called Kshetra. And Kshetrajna is who is present in all the Kshetra is called Kshetrajna. That is how it is. Yeah.
Kurukshetra, like.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that. Yeah.
The Kshetra is the
mind. The Kshetra, what Bhagavan talks about is, Kshetra is your body. And I am the Kshetrajna inside. Kshetra keeps changing, but Kshetrajna, I, the Atma, and Antaryami, Ishvara, Bhagavan, Brahman, whatever you call it, is the changeless reality. That is what he is saying. Yeah.
The Kshetra is the mind, intellect, doership, memory, body, senses, sensory world, etc. The Atma that illuminates all of them is called Kshetrajna. That is the real meaning of the word Jiva. The one who is in every Kshetra. Later, Krishna is going to say that in every body, mind, sense complex, Sarva Kshetra. The one
Sarva
Kshetresu. The one who remains there is Atma Kshetrajna.
Atma
Kshetrajna. Is Atma Kshetrajna. Is Atma Kshetrajna. This is not included in the Apara Prakriti. By real nature, Para Prakriti sustained everything. In Apara Prakriti, only the elements, the Arankara, Buddhi and Manas are included. Atma is omitted. That is Para Prakriti, which is the one by which this entire world is sustained. Yuva, Yaya.
By which?
Yaya, by this Para Prakriti alone, Idam Jagat, this entire world. Acharyate.
Dharyate means Dharanam. Means who holds this whole creation is nothing but the Paraprakriti, the Atma. Yeah.
Dharyate is sustained. Therefore, please understand that Paraprakriti, which is other than this, Ita Anyam Param Prakritim Vidhi.
Anyam Param Prakritim Vidhi.
Anyam Param Prakritim Vidhi. Although both must be understood, Krishna is going to say this. This is the real Prakriti. This is my real nature, the cause for everything. And therefore, it is called Prakriti. It is this Prakriti from which everything has come, which remains always the same, which is indeed the Jiva, the Atma. Therefore, understand that Prakriti to be Para Prakriti, Para Utkrishta. In other words, the other one is Apara Prakriti. The other one is Apara Prakriti. The 5 elements, etc., have 5 elements, etc. Having set this up, he is now going to reveal that there is nothing other than the para prakriti.
Yeah, see, the whole thing, no, the whole thing, as he enters into the 7th chapter of Ishvara and Tat and all, he brings in the whole, whatever you have learnt in the first 6 chapters and keeps on telling, Atma is Paraprakriti, Atma is Paraprakriti. He is talking about Ishvara and he keeps on telling Atma is Paraprakriti, that you are Paraprakriti. He doesn't want you to forget that you are the reality. You are the reality of Ishvara. Atma is the reality of Ishvara. So that is how he brings in. Like the first 6 chapters are always included in the discussion on Ishvara. Yeah.
Verse 6. Etad dyonini bhutani sarvani pyupadharaya aham krishnasya jagatak prabhavav pralayastata. Meaning, sarvani bhutani, all beings and elements. Etad yani, etad
Yoni means, you know, no, Yoni means womb. Yeah, Yoni, yeah.
Yonini are those that have these, the 2 parakritis as their causes. Iti upadharaya. This, thus, please understand. Aham, I, Krishnasya jagataha, of this entire world, prabhavaha, and the cause, tatha, so too, pralayaha. I am the source into which everything resolves.
Yeah.
Please understand that.
Krishnasya jagataha meaning well done. Krishna meaning well done. Well done jagataha. Bhagavan himself praises himself. How nicely he has done the whole Maya. Yeah.
Please understand that all beings and elements have their cause in this twofold Prakriti. Therefore, I am the one from whom this entire world comes. So too, I am the one into whom everything resolves. Evolves or resolves?
Resolves.
Okay.
Resolves means basically destruction. It is only resolving. Layam means what? Resolving. Like even you go to sleep, everything resolves. Next day morning you come up. So nothing got destroyed in sleep. In the same way, pralaya also. The whole kalpa goes to pralaya and comes back again. So all those samskaras, all your punya papa, all your mutai will come along with the next kalpa. That is how it is. Yeah.
Swamiji, we look at Ishvara as one. We look at one single thing called Ishvara. But there are some people who ask, for example, Krishna says in this verse, I am the destructor. But some people who are general based asks why Vishnu is the carrier and Shiva is the destructor. Vishnu is the sustainer, Shiva is the destructor.
Actually, we are only explaining. Like we say, no, here, Turiyam, the Chaturtham. Chaturtham, he says, and immediately says, there is no Chaturtham, it is only what is abstaining in all the 3. It is only an expression, all this. Shiva, okay, there is a Devata for destruction, Shiva, Rudram, and there is a Devata for, like even, each one of us are playing different roles. You are an office goer, you are a husband, you are a son. How can I be the same? One person can be all the 3. How can we ask? What we are doing, the same thing Bhagavan is also doing. That's all. In fact, Bhagavan, we have depicted like Shiva, Rudra. He never came and told you that I am Rudram, I am Vishnu and all that. It's all our own, for our own better understanding or how to even understanding the Ishvara and all that. We need language. And the rishis have found out in those days, when it was written, they wrote with all these things, Vishnu. With all their Shraddha, the contemporary people they wrote. Today you sit back and question, it could have been Kali, it could have been something else, it could have been Bill Gates, it could have been some other fellow. The name, it doesn't really make any difference. It is all purely, it's a question of what was written with the idea to make you understand that the world is born, the world is sustained, and the world is resolved. All the 3 are simultaneously happening. Born is gone. The last moment was born. Now it is gone. By the time I finish this sentence, the next moment has started. So born is gone, is happening. Rudram, Vishnu and Shiva are all happening simultaneously. But it's very difficult if I say like this. So they give a Devata and you person who created, you give a Brahma, you call him Brahma and you pray for him. and so that you get good birth and all that. It's all purely upayas. It's all upayas for you to have a sane living among the changing world. That's all. But we are unnecessarily getting into all those discussions which are all not really necessary. What is necessary is what is the tatparya? What is the tatparya behind the whole thing? Once we understand, all those things fall in place. Yeah.
Swamiji, shall we stop at this?
Yeah, we can stop. I think correct.
Om.
Why I asked this question is because Bhagavata states, some of the stories, Brahma came, Brahma said he can't do anything.
Those are all for easy understanding, easy. So a story, anything if it is told as a story, you will remember it better. Okay. So that is why they give the story. Actually, there is something called the technology of storyboard. Even corporate world and all people say storyboard. What is a storyboard? There is no story going on. You are doing business. But you say call it storyboard, then it becomes attractive. People want to know what is a storyboard and all. It's all gimmicks, I tell you. It's all the same thing when the Shastrakara uses the gimmick, you are questioning. When you are using it, it's okay.
Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate